Wow. Live and recording. I'm going to stop my screen sharing. Stop the music. Stop the share. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Andreas Johansson from Streetsboro City Schools. We're so super excited to host our first, hopefully of annual, the Asynchronous Technology Conference 2020. This is our first session with Lori Thompson, featuring INFOhio resources. And if you don't have a time to see this live, you can see the recording later, so look for that. If you need a certificate of attendance, check the chat. Also, feel free to send us any questions in the chat, in the messaging system via Zoom. We will get those to Lori as Lori presents. Dan Stitzel and myself will be moderating. Hopefully you will have a good time. And then we're going to finish up around 7:45 or so. So remember, if you have questions, we'll finish up, and then we're going to do our next session at 9 o'clock. So Lori, take it away.
All right, so I'll share my screen. Maybe. Bear with me here. This is my very first Zoom presentation like this, so just bear with me as I kind of figure this out. So as Andrea said, I am the district librarian here in Streetsboro, and I kind of feel like I'm an INFOhio ambassador, which librarians kind of take that role on. So today we're going to go through an overview of what some of the resources that INFOhio has to offer. If you've visited INFOhio before, then some of the things I'm going to show you are changes this year, and some of them are just some of the resources that are available. And if we have time at the end, I'm going to show our library catalog, because I feel like this year students are going to have to place holds on books and use our catalog more than normal. So if you're here in Streetsboro, I'd like to show you how that works. But again, first we're going to just go over an INFOhio overview. Whether it's face-to-face or remote or blended, school this year is going to be very different, and INFOhio is focused on bringing resources to teachers to use in any way possible, whether you're face-to-face or hybrid or remote. You can use these resources anywhere you are. Just a quick view of what the mission and the vision of INFOhio are. So I'll give you just a little bit to read both of those. Whoops, sorry. Okay, and now we're going to look at the homepage for INFOhio. So this hasn't changed a whole lot. INFOhio is Ohio's pre-K through 12 digital library for Ohio students, parents, and teachers. They license quality digital content and provide web tools at no cost to impact student learning. They also provide school library support and professional development. So we'll talk about professional development in a little bit. That's one of the things that I think that a lot of teachers don't know that INFOhio offers. INFOhio's licensed digital content is password protected. So that ensures that it's accessible just to Ohio's students, teachers, and parents. This video is going to quickly show how to log in if you're not already authenticated. Normally, if you're in a school building, INFOhio knows you're in a school and it will log you in automatically, but just in case you have a parent that's having trouble, this will show you how to log in.
And Lori, just checking, is there sound to that, or?
There is sound.
Let's see if we can, I don't hear anything, so let's see if we can, we'll do some troubleshooting. Do you hear it on your computer, Lori?
I do.
Okay.
I could do this a different way if
Okay.
this is working.
Yeah, I'm not sure why we're not hearing it, but it is what it is.
So anyway, I'll just do this then. So you can see this now, right?
Yep.
My screen. Okay, so up here you see that it says Streetsboro City Schools. If you weren't able to log in, you would click here. You type in, well, username and password. I'm not going to say what ours is for Streetsboro, but if you don't know your username and password, you can just click find that, type in your school name, and then it will bring it up. So that's how you would find the username and password, or direct parents to find the username and password if if the website doesn't authenticate automatically. All right, so moving right along. We're going to take a look at the actual website now, and there's some tips for practices and navigation, and as well as some new features that I'll show you. Okay, so this is the home page. This shows the digital content and web tools to support Ohio's learning standards in all grades and subject areas. To find the content or tool that you need, you could just click on your grade level, or if you click on the blue rectangle at the bottom, it's going to give you every resource on one page. Okay, so if you click all resources, this is what the page is going to look like. It'll give you digital content that's available for all levels of learners. If you click this little I button at the top of the rectangle, it's going to give you different or specific information about that resource. Academic Search Premier is one of the most popular resources, and this database has thousands of articles, ebooks, and videos to support teaching and learning. And then if you click the I button, this is what you will see. So this is the kind of information you're going to get if you click the I button on any of those resources. It gives you training and support materials. It gives you other resources that you might like if you like academic, if you like that one resource. It also gives you a way to link it to your Google Classroom, a bookmark, and an LMS direct link. So that makes it very easy to add it to whatever you're teaching in your classroom. This is what the bookmark looks like. And again, notice that in all of these links, INFOhio is in there. If you're trying to link something and it doesn't have INFOhio, like if I was to copy and paste from the address bar at the top, if it doesn't have INFOhio, it's not going to be a seamless click for your students. So you want to make sure if you're adding these to your website or you're sharing them in Google Classroom that they do have that INFOhio in the link, or else it's not going to work as well. No matter where you are in INFOhio site, you can navigate back to the home page or to any other page by using the home button or the main menu buttons at the top. This search up here at the top is a great way to find anything you need, from blog posts to flyers to specific resources. Okay, and we're going to return back to the main page now. Something new that INFOhio has added is this parent tools box. So again, this INFOhio isn't just for students and teachers, it's also for parents as well. And they've added this new list of resources for parents this year. This page has the answers to many questions that parents may have about using INFOhio with their child. Be sure to familiarize yourself with the contents here and share it with your families to make sure that they know how to use this and to help them navigate this kind of strange year we're all embarking on. Okay, now we're going to look at some specific resources that are in here. INFOhio has ebooks, videos, magazines, articles, lesson plans. They also have web tools that are designed by the team to integrate this content into your teaching, whether it's blended or hybrid or face-to-face. So these are some of the enhancements that have been made. If you are a K-3 teacher, you may have used Kids InfoBits in the past. They have changed Kids InfoBits to this new Gale and Context Elementary. The interface is updated, it has bright colors and sharp images, and it's perfect for kids in grades K-3. It's easy to navigate and, you know, interesting for younger kids to look at. Early researchers can find what they're looking for very easily by typing in a keyword search at the top or just picking the images that are in the middle of the page. If you needed more information for like a biography, there's articles and ebooks available, and they're appropriate for the reading levels of younger learners. There's also articles about, you know, people that are popular in culture pop culture right now. Hamilton's super popular, and so they may find some information about, you know, things that they're watching on TV or seeing. Another very popular resource, especially for younger kids, is Bookflix. This is probably INFOhio's most used resource. It's for pre-K through 3, and it takes nonfiction books and pairs them with fiction books. So you can either search by category or you can search for specific keywords or titles. If you were to pick one of the titles, it'll show you the fiction book and the nonfiction pair. The fiction titles are Weston Wood's videos, and the nonfiction titles are ebooks. Both read aloud the text. Both read aloud the text and highlight it as it is read, and each of them has kind of a puzzler or a game that can be played to go along with it. They reinforce skills such as sequencing and fast fact versus fiction and vocabulary, and you can extend the learning by exploring websites to support the topic or doing an author-illustrator study. Every year, Bookflix adds more titles, so these are the pairs that will be added this school year. They also take some out, so this year they're going to take out the Christopher Columbus pair, and those changes will happen early in the 2021 school year. A resource that is good for students a little bit older than 3rd grade is Storia. So this is a Scholastic product, and it's a collection of ebooks that support Ohio learning standards for grades 4 and 5. So this is only available for 4th and 5th grade. There's over 350 ebooks that are available. It links with Google Classroom and Clever. And once students are rostered in this program, then they have access to all of these books. So this would be really good, especially if your school is one-to-one like ours will be. This will be a great resource for students to be able to read books. Maybe if they can't get to the library, they will still have access to books on their Chromebooks. Okay, here's another resource. This is called I Wonder. It has new content that was not there last year. It's a collection of hand-selected websites that promote student curiosity and provide support for homework questions. INFOhio in the past had a section called Tech Skills for Online Testing. They're retiring that content and moving some of it over to I Wonder. Some of the content that was in the teacher portion of the Tech Skills for Online Testing will be moved to the Educator Tools, which we'll look at in a couple of minutes. So when you get to this page, students can just click on any of these questions to find out more information about the topics. Oh my gosh, I keep doing that. New computer. All right, so if a student were to click on, for instance, do you want to learn more about technology? It breaks it down even further into different things that they would want to learn about technology. And then if students need some help with keyboarding or mouse skills, INFOhio has put some free games right here. So, and now that students are going to have computers more and more, keyboarding is very important. So here are some resources for mouse accuracy and typing that kids can use to practice. Okay, so those were some student tools, and now we're going to look at the educator tools curriculum library. These are all resources curated from the web. There's lesson plans, interactive websites, best practices videos, and more. And like I said a couple minutes ago, some of the information that was in the Tech Skills for Online Testing has been moved to this educator tools library. So once you get in here, you can search for keywords at the top. So this search was for citizenship. And if you use these limiters on the side, you can pick your grade level, your subject, the type of item you're looking for, and then it will sort those out for you. In this search for citizenship, they did grades K through 2, and you'll notice there is a BookFlix pair here, BN2 Otters and We Are Citizens. So all of the BookFlix books that we saw on the previous slide are in the educator tools also. Oh, oops. You'll see here that if you click on one of the resources, the little eye up in the corner, like I said before, then it gives you more information about that resource. It tells you all the standards that it is linked to. It also gives you a way to add it to your Google Classroom. If you don't have Google Classroom and you have a different LMS, there's a link here, and then you can also bookmark it. So it makes it very easy to use in your teaching. If you click any of these standards, it's going to open up a box that tells you what the standard actually is. Okay, you can also favorite these. So say your search, gave you 30 different things and you only are really interested in a few of them. If you click these little green hearts, it's going to keep track of those and put them up here in your favorites list. And then if you click this box, it's going to make you a nice list of your favorites. So these are all the ones that we clicked on the green heart for, and now they've given you a whole list of the favorites that you made. So you can send it to your email. There's a URL if you're working with like a TBT and you find some resources you want to share with them. You can easily get a list and share that list with your TBT or your colleagues. INFOhio has also, they have some pre-made web quests that can be downloaded and used in your classroom. If you search the educator tools for World Book Web Quests, there's downloadable web quests that ask students to search for information on a topic and use navigation skills to find the answers they need. So there's a couple different ways that you can use these. You can download and print out worksheets and hand those to the kids, and then they use their computer to find the answers. Or it takes a little bit more work on your part, but you can make them all digital so that they're using the web quests with their Chromebooks, and it would be paperless. So it's kind of nice maybe if you're going to be out for a day and you need, something for a substitute to do, this might be a good option. They're all pre-made and ready to go. Okay, now as an LPDC representative here in Streetsboro, I know that people are always looking for ways to get credit, especially free credit that they can do whenever it works in their schedule. And INFOhio does offer several different ways to get professional development. So we're going to talk about those real quick. It's called INFOhio Campus. And it's flexible, personalized, and lets you show what you know with either contact hours, graduate credit, or badging. With INFOhio, you can do any of those things. So let's dig into that a little further. This shows the different categories of professional development that you can get through INFOhio. And like I said before, it's flexible, it's self-paced. You can do it at home when after you put your kids to bed, and it's all here for you 24 hours a day. These are the INFOhio learning pathways. They teach you how to use the digital content and tools to integrate them into your teaching or your library practice. Each pathway is made up of several classes. You can just do one class, or you can do the whole pathway. And whether you're doing one class or the whole pathway, you'll earn contact hours for whatever you complete. Each pathway, like I said, offers classes. There are several new classes that are on here this fall. In the K through 5 pathway, the Kids Info Bits class has been changed to Gale and Context Elementary. Reading on the Screen will be added in there soon. In the 6 through 12 pathway, there's I Wonder, which we saw before, and there's iSearch for Inquiry and Explora. In 9 through 12, there's Points of View Reference Center, and there's also some in there for librarians, if any of you are a librarian. Each class is worth the indicated hours that are listed there under each box. And once you complete the class, you get a certificate that you can print out and then submit to LPDC to get those hours. And again, it's free, and you can take these classes whenever it's convenient for you. Okay, you will notice in the updated campus that the Success in 6, that's hard to say, is transitioning to INFOhio graduate credit from Ashland University. So if you need grad credits, you can get them through this course. Participants who wish to earn graduate credit may sign up for 2 classes using the content from Success in 6. So the registration for this starts on September 1st. So if this is something that you are interested in, September 1st, you can sign up and get graduate credit. These courses are open until August 31st without signing up, but once September 1st hits, you have to sign up for the graduate credit to be able to access these. Okay, INFOhio does also offer in-person PD. This would be something that I would think an administrator would set up, but it is something that they offer for districts, and these are some of the topics that they could come out and do PD for face-to-face. Of course, I'm not sure how that's working this year with everything kind of being different, but in normal years, they do provide face-to-face PD. The iCoach program, that generally, in my experience, has been for librarians. I did this over the summer, but I guess anybody could do this. It's 15 hours and you get a digital badge and contact hours for becoming an iCoach. And then, let's see what else here. There's webinars to support learning. If you missed the spring and summer webinar series, you can watch the recordings to learn strategies for using INFOhio's digital content to impact student learning. These webinar series also have certificates that you can use for professional development. So you can log on to the campus and watch the webinars and then print out certificates, upload them to LPDC and get credit for those as well. iSearch, if we have time here in a few minutes, I'm going to flip over to this page and show you some things in iSearch that would be specific to your school, no matter where you are in Ohio. Tips to take it up a notch. I'm going to go through these really quickly. There's a video here that doesn't work, so we'll skip through that. Again, all of the resources that are here available in INFOhio can link directly to Google Classroom or whatever LMS that you use. So just remember to click that little eye that's up in the corner of each box. It will give you this page and give you the links to share with your student. The thing that is super important that they said over and over again in this presentation is that you need to make sure that the link says INFOhio in the top. In the one that you're sharing with students. Some of the resources, when you go to them, if you were to highlight or copy the URL from the top, it does not have INFOhio, and if you try to share that with students, they're going to have a hard time getting in. So just make sure that the link you're sharing has INFOhio in it. What else is here? This again just is showing in Worldbook how you can link using Google Classroom. And again, this again shows if you were to try to use this web address, it's not going to work for the students. You need to use the button that's within the resource to share with them. And there's also blog posts. INFOhio comes out with information to try to help teachers, and they have blog posts that you can find online that will share information with you as well. If you do use INFOhio, we get funding from the state for INFOhio, and sometimes it's, you know, they want to cut funding all the time. So if you share how INFOhio is working for you with hashtag INFOhioWorks, it helps advocate for this program so that we continue to have these resources free and available for our students and parents. So if you can share that in social media, that would be awesome. All right, so now we've got just a little bit of time left. I'm going to flip over to my INFOhio page, and we're going to look at iSearch just real quickly. So no matter where you are in Ohio, you can search your school's library. So our students this year may not be able to physically come to the library, so they are going to have to learn how to use our catalog to place holds so that library staff can deliver books to them. So if I was a student and I was looking for a book, I can search all the libraries in my district, or I can search a specific library. So I'm here at the middle school, so I'm going to search for a book that's here at the middle school. So this will show students all the books that we have available in the title that they are looking for. There are a lot of limiters over here on the side so that they can kind of narrow down what they're looking for. So this would be great for a kid who knows what they want, and they can then click this little box up here and place a hold on that book. They will hopefully be learning their usernames and pins quickly in the first couple of weeks of school, but this is a way for library staff to deliver books now that the libraries, you know, may not be open like they normally were. Okay, so not only can students search for specific book titles, they could also search for topics. So say they're doing a report on World War II. If they search for World War II, it's going to give the student a list of books that we have in our library that they can use for that research. So just like with the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, they can click the little box and place a hold on those books, and then library staff will be able to get them ready. Over on the side, they can limit, you know, what they want, which makes it very nice. This will be kind of a learning curve for students because they've never been able to do this before, or they've never had access to be able to place holds before. And I would say that the catalog has kind of been underutilized. So I think this is kind of a good skill for students to learn, and we'll be spending some time getting them able to do this at the beginning of school. Also in this iSearch, there are links to encyclopedia articles, research starters, and if they click through here, there are, holy moly, 608,000 resources available to them just with iSearch. So the beautiful thing about teaching kids to use iSearch for their research is that we know that they are valuable sources that, you know, some Joe Schmo didn't just make up. So if we teach kids to use iSearch, it can really help them with their research. Kids' first instinct is just to Google everything, which is fine in some cases, but we know that INFOhio has been curated by professionals that know what to put in here, and so we know that the information is safe and reliable and of high quality. So I would urge you all to, get familiar with what INFOhio has to offer and to teach your students to use it. It's not the first place that they want to go, but we know it's a good place for them to go. One other thing here, we've got just a few minutes left. One other resource that I thought was kind of cool is this digital video collection. There's all kinds of videos in here, and I noticed the other day when I was looking that you can browse by subject or by series. You can also search for certain things, and there are pages and pages of Bill Nye videos in here that are ready to go. So this is a great resource if you need a video to show. Again, you know that you have the proper permissions to use these, and you're not sharing anything that's copyrighted and not supposed to be shared. I think that that's pretty much all I have. If nobody had any questions.
Lori, Dan and I were in the back chat, sort of just, it's like fire hose this morning. All of the resources from INFOhio that we have, it's amazing. And I find that when I was teaching in the classroom, certainly our librarian there was like, oh, you should look at INFOhio. I was like, oh, yeah, maybe. And now I think I know that much more and would be able to utilize the tool. And it's because of your constant sort of push and promotion of the resources. So if you're out there as a teacher and you haven't yet found, especially in Ohio, right? So Laura, just to confirm, this is a resource that you can connect to as an Ohio teacher if you subscribe to it. So it's not necessarily open to just anyone, right?
No, Ohio wins pretty much.
Yeah. But if you are in Ohio, and we're looking at the folks that are attending live here, then check with your district librarian if you don't have access, and make sure that you get some access, because it's fantastic. And it's so much simpler. I found when I started to use it, with my students, so much simpler than, like you said, just Googling, because then you just get, it's just a bunch of garbage back. Whereas this is a little bit more tailored and able to work for educational purposes.
Yes.
Yeah, this is great.
Ohio.
Yep, INFOhio. So for those of you watching at home again, or if you're watching the recording, we're going to put all of these resources on a dedicated website that we're building right now, because that's how we roll. And so you'll be able to see the recording. We will have resources for you, and we're going to ask each presenter to put just a quick recap of their session with links if needed, and we'll have that all in one place. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, now's your time to throw them into the chat. Thanks, Annette, for the kind words. Yes, Lori does an amazing job, and we're so tremendously lucky to have her as a librarian.
Thanks.
Anytime. And if not, let's we're going to take a quick moment. If you hung out with us today, I'm going to put the link back up again. And you want that certificate of attendance, go to the chat. You can click on the link, get yourself a certificate of attendance, and turn that into your LPDC committee or whoever and however that might work in your district. And if you don't need that, you don't need it, and that's okay too. So, oh, and our special code, that's right, Dan Stitzel. And we're gonna start out easy. We're gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4 is our special code for today. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is the code that you're going to want to put in to the Google form to get your certificate of attendance. It's 8:38, almost 8:40. Our next session starts at 9 o'clock. That's a Google Forms session, new, old, and some of the stuff that you didn't know. So that'll be starting at 9, and we'll have that open and ready at about 8:55. So if you want to grab a cup of coffee, take a quick break, and we'll see you back for the Google Forms session. Thank you, Lori. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We'll do a Zoom clap. Have a great day. We're going to stop the recording.